Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Biotech Bites. My name is Abraham Chor, owner of the Chor YouTube channel. This is currently on Spotify on Biotech Bites, ladies and gentlemen, under the Faculty of Resource Science and Technology. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for having me here, Biotech Bites. Thank you so much for having me here, Unimas. It's a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have no shoes on and I am here in my home lab. So, today we're going to talk about 3D printing applications in biotechnology. So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, what is 3D printing in layman terms? Let me show you. Over here, we have the 3D printer that I'm currently running. This is a Bamboo Labs A1. So if you come over here, this is the most basic explanation that I can give you. There's plastic that comes in strands like this. It gets fed right here into the hot end. This is a heating unit that melts this plastic and draws lines on this platform right here. So once it draws lines on this platform, it makes shapes. What shapes can we make, ladies and gentlemen? We can make a razor blade. This is what I use to clean the bed on this 3D printer. We can make this nice little basket to catch printer poo. And ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing that we want to focus on today, what this little guy can do, it can make caps for nitrogen flow. This is, first of all, how it is used in research and lab work. This is just one of many applications that we can have. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a two head with, I believe, 8 millimeter internal diameter, so that it can fit these nitrogen flow pipes. You can see on the bottom, one of it is longer, one of it is shorter. This is the inlet, so it shoots nitrogen down. This is the outlet, so the waste nitrogen goes back up, but it doesn't, the height difference is so that it doesn't ingest the nitrogen flow back in. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, how do I make this? All you have to do is just go to Tinkercad, ladies and gentlemen. You did not see anything. Ladies and gentlemen, Tinkercad is this website, Autodesk Tinkercad, if you zoom right in. So this is Autodesk Tinkercad. This is the website. All you need to design is right here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is part of my research and lab work, because I do need these in order to create a cleaner environment for nitrogen flow, because I've been experiencing contamination in my samples. This is what I use in order to slow down contamination. Doesn't stop it completely. Contamination is a lifelong learning process. Contamination prevention is just one of the applications that you can use this in. Other applications include like creating special mounts, especially for example, micropipettes that no longer have their ejector tip in the correct position. You can use 3D printing to create a third-party mount for those pipettes. The opportunities are limitless, ladies and gentlemen. I would recommend you start on Tinkercad. That is the easiest way to get started on 3D design. That is the easiest way to get started on getting the stuff from your brain into a digital format. I will not cover how to use it today. That's not the objective of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, so examples in biotech. We also have 3D printed the plant pots, for example, 3D printed plant pots that will help you to monitor specific parameters. For example, with the pots in a specific shape, you are able to insert probes into the side to monitor soil moisture content, for example. You can use it to monitor other things as well. 3D printed collection systems, ladies and gentlemen. I do not have one here right now, but it is known that you can use 3D printed collection systems to trap bats, for example, to trap animals that you might want without harming them. You can also use 3D printed collection systems to collect rainwater, and you can also use it to replace machines like stirrers, for example, very basic machines like stirrers that might be broken, or you might use them to create replacement parts, like, for example, in those really fiddly microscope camera mounts. Ladies and gentlemen, so for the takeaway and the promotion of my service, the possibilities are mainly based on your knowledge of 3D design and your imagination in the ways that you can use them. It took several prototypes to get to this stage. It is not an easy job, but don't let that deter you from trying, ladies and gentlemen. It is not as hard as it looks. If a guy like me can do it, so can you. It's a cliche, ladies and gentlemen, but I genuinely think y'all can do it. It's not too hard. It's not too hard. 4 out of 10, if you're willing to learn. Invest a few hours into YouTube tutorials. They're really helpful. Choose a guy or girl that you like and learn. Ladies and gentlemen, promotion of my service. I am Abraham Chor. Call me at 014-921-2314. That's 014-921-2314. Call me, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be able to set you up with this 3D printer right here. This is a Bamboo Labs A1 self-leveling, automatic bed leveling. We have the capacity to run PLA. We have some PETG, we have some Hyper PLA if you want. We can get other filaments if you want. We have a few different options, unfortunately. We do have as well the capability to print Flexi Cats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abraham Chor. You can call me at 014-921-2314. I have a 3D printer for hire, and I do basic 3D design as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Biotech Bytes. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for having me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Unimas Biotechnology Spotify, which you should find this on. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget at Hachor, that's Haachor. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me. I'm Abraham Chor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, click the little plus button if you're on Spotify. Thank you so much.